Who's next?
So we got PlayerJojo. So, which is number,
on this one.
yeah, it's Sabi Kaiser. They also asked if we could give review for After Quiet and Gordon Ramsay as well. So it's a couple different games from a tournament, from what I can gather. And so yeah, I'll do my, or we'll do our best rather to take a look at both sides and see what can be said.
You'll do your best.
I'm used to running these solo.
I can tell.
What is the round start for both of you? Very patient. So
I'm already noticing an issue here.
yeah,
because you're running into the trap of move forward, up back, move forward, up back. So when you're up back, you limit a lot of your options from this parasol.
Yeah. So
set things up.
For the record, this matchup, Parasol's projectile is a whole hell of a lot better than yours. This is where she wants to be for a lot of it. And so the things you're looking to do as Eliza is get close enough where your far-reaching buttons are a threat, where caught especially is a threat. That really chokes a lot of Parasol's options, as well as where you can kind of threaten an ID option over a tier to get in, or to low profile a tier, or again to just poke her out. So kind of staying at this range is counterproductive, and at the rate you're up backing, the Parasol can actually run at you, and you'll just run yourself into the corner without having anything contested whatsoever.
Try staying at like the tip of your 5 HP range.
Yep.
So that way you can still threaten with like an air dash or anything, and you also have time to deal with like just dash up normal.
And so, like for example, the thing I want to say right here, this is a really good spot for you to be. All the shots go under you besides M shot, and if you see M shot coming, you air dash into its dead zone. So like right here is where you can feel pretty comfortable air dashing in, and then you can either cancel it instantly with like jump light punch to just try and block immediately and just be right in front of the Parasol, or you can commit to holding it a little longer. The one risk is if this Parasol is someone who will actually use 5 heavy punch, you're killing yourself. But that is an incredibly committal option from the Parasol, so that's kind of something that ends up going into, you know that I know that I'll do this, so where do we draw the line? How do we react to each other trying to deal with this option? But that's getting a little bit further down the line. This is a good spot to be in. You just want to be moving forward from here rather than instantly air dashing back like you do in this game. Yeah. And as for the Parasol, we have a distinct lack of shots in this matchup. I know Jojo said you're new-ish to the game, so if a charge input's weird, 100% fine. It's a major part of her game plan, so recommend practicing it and getting used to it in neutral.
Yeah, fucking is a godsend. 2 dash plus, you just hit 2 punch buttons and then hold back.
Yep. So, for example, here, your air dash does bring you forward, but you can cancel the upward momentum the second you press a button. So if you see Parasol do something like this, you can press jump medium kick. Yeah, jump medium punch, jump medium kick, either or. We'll just land on her with a button. Most often it'll break the bike as well, so you don't even need to worry about it gripping you. And then you just start the combo from there. You can also, when you're in this space, threaten to fall with a jump light kick immediately or a delayed jump light punch if you want to keep it closer to the ground and you believe they're not going to press a button. Good footsies.
Footsies. Bonk, 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 bonk. Duh, duh, duh. Should have dead character now.
Messed up the incoming. I feel that. Dash up low.
So we're still new to the character. Oh, we are very new.
Yeah.
Is it new enough for me to put the wiki in the chat?
I think they're aware of the wiki.
Well, you know what? Just in case, it's just a really cool resource.
Yeah. And for the record, make sure you are visiting the Mizumi wiki, not the fandom wiki, because the fandom wiki is not a learning resource. The Mizumi wiki is.
Put a this one, and I'll put the filial one in there too for you, so you both get a direct link.
Yep.
And there's also this one. This is the good wiki. This will teach you things and how to win.
Yeah, this is not a fun matchup for Band.
If you're gonna be risking these jump heavy kicks, you gotta be going forward.
Yeah, I think we're
Otherwise
still getting used to a lot of the movement. And I don't know if they're supposed to be special inputs with heavy kick, because I definitely saw a couple raw heavy kicks from the Parasol that were probably meant to be bike guys. Which might be them just not quite used to charge motions yet, which is understandable. It's a very weird input if you're not used to fighting games already. Was that a... It was a DP run start-ish. A little bit delayed.
I've actually never seen that hit like that.
Oh, that guy overextended into it. Yep, you already used OTG. That combo won't necessarily always use OTG, you just kind of expect it to. Because if anything's weird, it breaks. Mistiming that incoming.
You could caught. You're at range to caught still and jump block. Let me jump cancel and block. Might be a little advanced though for the players.
Yeah. Looks like
Okay, yeah.
a lot of just being uncomfortable with characters and movement. It's just fair. Everyone goes through this phase. So honestly, the best thing you can be doing to get more used to stuff like this is playing, which you clearly are.
Giant Step is like godsend this game. Where's it at? Giant Step.
Oh, there we go. No sound stun though, because Giant Step already used it.
So you only get one sound stun per combo, and that Crouch Heavy Punch also needs it if you ever want to combo off of it. Same with Speed Extend, Giant Step, and I think that's it. Speed Extend, Giant Step, 2 HP. Yeah, those all use sound stun. Oh, and Symbols. Symbols also use sound stun.
Yep. Gregor?
Gregor?
Oh, not quite. Gregor might actually be too slow there. Ringlet Spike
Gregor
might
would
trade
hit.
though. But, yeah,
He
I am
already
seeing a lot of
That
kind
character?
of panic Gregors from the Philia. And if you're using them without intent, you're spending bar for that to happen, aka you're spending bar for your character to die. So we are very antsy to use our metered options, which aren't necessarily reactive neutral tools for the characters we're playing.
How many games did they send in?
So I think there's a total of 13, but it's a couple different sets. So yeah, that was Gordon out. I'm gonna check if any of them else are for Gordon. I don't think they are. Yeah. So I mean, specifically for that, it was 2 games. Didn't get to see all that much. Overall, for Gordon specifically, Mar just feels like there isn't anything in particular that needs work on. Like Parasol could use a bit more shot or tosses on neutral. And you're committing to metered options for Philly and Big Band a lot, but I think you're at the point in the game where you can kind of just focus on making sure your movement and your inputs come a little bit more naturally, which will mostly happen just by playing the game more. So I think there's not too much more to say. I'm seeing Not a lot of like really big red flag habits like overextending on block. It's just not used to the characters, not used to neutral of the game, which as a new player is perfectly fine. That's Hi, Selfish. Sorry I didn't say hi earlier. Hi. Banned Squig. Same team, new order. Interesting. How did we get routed immediately? Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Yeah, just round start A train. Then we get hit low like 4 times in a row. 1, 2, 3. Yep.
Text back into the corner. That really autocorrect.
Yep. Big band.
Alright.
Alright, what's the incoming? Are you gonna get hit low? No.
Nope.
Nice blocks. Gun. Good checks.
Whatchamacallit? I guess you weren't okay. If you weren't expecting them to jump, this is fine. If you're expecting them to jump medium kick is a really good air-to-air option here. So is jump light punch or jump light kick. But if you weren't thinking they were jumping, that's yeah. Okay, this is a big thing I'm seeing a lot. And versus a character like Band who really wants to be controlling space, this is something you need to be paying attention to. You are teching into the corner. And so what this does is it makes your get-up time consistent, which most people, funnily enough, are actually more used to the timing for like making something meaty if someone is teching than if they're doing a just standard get-up, because characters have variable wake-up times in this game. There is also the fact that you are basically using your undizzy, because teching takes half the undizzy you've currently built up, and then putting yourself in the same spot as if you hadn't built that undizzy in the first place. So it's a really easy habit to fall into. I still do it sometimes, and I need to get it out of my system because I've started doing it again. But try and be like very aware of what you're doing when you're on the ground in an attackable position, because unless you're trying to get really cheeky and like tech mess up their timing if they think you're gonna wake up and like get a quick button out, I would say there's not really a reason to tech into the corner. So you're either holding the undizzy and just doing a wake up in the corner, or you're teching out of the corner and trying to deal with the tech chase afterwards. But then if you are correct and like block whatever they're trying to do, low or throw you, you end up getting yourself out of the corner. And so this is like the highest cost, lowest reward option you can choose when you're put in a knockdown state in the corner. And so it's an easy habit to default into, but it's an awful habit to default into. Overextending on block, get PBG Seed, into Daisy, classic. Swiggly combos on double, lovely. It's always a pain. Got caught pressing on the way down.
Are they really that bad on double?
They're double just... She's heavy enough and fat enough to make everything really awkward. How did we get hit here? That was just a really good reaction on them, actually, yeah. It's a really good confirm off jump heavy punch. JP would recommend a lot more 2 heavy punch from Fuklo. If you are playing the spacing, footsies, check approach game, 2 HP is a godlike button for Fuklo to be using a neutral. Right, we're in. So we stayed standing this round start. Makes sense. Just got hit by the raw A train. Right. Parry and to get hit. Unfortunate. Oh, don't move in, Dizzy. If you ever notice you're in a situation like this, and this kind of comes down to judging and Dizzy, but your characters are also blocking it, is a little awkward. So it's really hard to see, and you kind of need to know how much Dizzy you have from the start. Yeah, you'll kind of know that this won't work. If you know the jump heavy punch will add too much on Dizzy, jump medium punch also usually just drags them to the ground on the 2 combo anyway. But yeah, didn't have time for this. And then finally overextended into the mashing, which we've seen them parry and get counter hit as well, so we know what's coming. Sorry to cut you off. Oh. Nice.
Reaction. Good.
Beat
Set
extend.
out the win condition. Gets it.
Was that H-Bang? That was. H-Bang is a very niche tool for specific matchups. It's almost always an overcommitment if you're actually going for it. What are we pressing? Hope it was supposed to be an M-Bang. Probably was. Oh, no combo.
Slow, but they get hit anyway.
Oh.
Oh, this the boy move is your favorite here. Hit him with JLP.
So you can JLP to punish this. You can also just BFF. If you want to say, I'm not taking that risk, just BFF here and you'll get it. Oh, same side mid. Tech out of the corner. Good. So BFF is an amazing tool on reaction. It is very similar to Daisy, where if you're throwing it out predictively, you're more than likely just going to get smoked if you guess wrong. So it's a tool to use sparingly. Oh, that's not the punish. Wait. Interesting. No confirm.
Wait, run away. Get grabbed.
Yeah, that's a little too slow of a button to be using there. If you had used one of your jumping lights, you probably would have won that interaction. And now also keep an eye on After Quiet as well.
Gotta keep an eye on After Quiet too?
Yes.
I'm seeing a whole lot of you playing Leapfrog with Eliza to move around.
Yeah.
I'd very much recommend staying a lot bit more grounded.
Yeah.
You have good, very good grounded neutral buttons.
There are very few things I will say this to, or say this about in SG, but Mizumi Drop is actually like one of the worst supers in the game, and I can't really recommend you using it.
Yeah, that move is...
Or Mortuary Drop, rather.
Yeah, more drop is kind of actual troll.
It's... Oh no.
It hit.
Yep. So, if you are unaware about dash block in this game, pressing dash, whether it's forward or if you're using 2 punch inputs to get it, and holding back immediately, will let you dash while blocking. You'll stop as soon as your run cycle's over, but you'll be dashing throughout the entirety of it. And using that to approach people, especially if you're looking for punishes on stuff like that, is a really nice, safe way to just guarantee, alright, I'm getting close enough to punish this while still not opening myself up to getting hit by it. But yeah, once again, seems like we're just getting a little used to the movement, not seeing any crazy Philia air dashes or wave dashes, which is kind of where you really unlock a lot of her kit. She is definitely a movement character, as well as hairballs, yeah, that too. But she's in, throw, no conversion. Is it... So, off of a throw, you can do ringlet spike, I'm pretty sure it's M, into Gregor if you want an easy conversion. If you want to really sweat for a conversion that doesn't use meter, you can do ringlet into micro dash. Well, it's a wave dash into instant air dash jump medium punch. It's a lot of inputs at once, and if you don't want to sweat that out, Gregor's the easier option. Yeah.
Also, Sabi, for future reference, when you're in a situation like this and a clock is ticking, you literally just run.
Yeah.
Run, don't call assists, there's literally nothing you can do to win the game at that point.
There's no way they have enough damage. Yeah.
The only way they win the game is if you throw an assist and get doubled, and then you happy birthday.
Yeah. And honestly, the thing I said about movement for Philia is more or less true for Valentine. She thrives on being in the air and then reacting to whatever her opponent's doing, with using crosses to also control what her opponent is doing. Seem a little bit more comfy, but we are also defaulting to like super jump into air dash.
Also, friend, you don't want to go past medium in one of your block shoots, as a general rule. Because ending on a heavy means you're extremely punishable.
Some specials can also keep you safe, so if you go into a heavy, you can try and bail out into that. For Valentine, it's actually light bypass. The issue is you open yourself up to getting punished in other ways with other defensive mechanics. So, again, as a typical rule, going into heavies, like we just saw JoJo do, will get you hit, just like we saw. Even if you can special into a special cancel. Usually a medium's about as far as you can go without being punishable. You know the air throw confirm? Unfortunate to drop afterwards. That sucks. Like, I wouldn't recommend that as a call-out, but I feel like that should have worked, and I feel really bad that that went the way it did. After quiet, you're a little too afraid of things happening in front of you. And again, I think that is more just you being a little bit not quite sure what tools your characters has, what's going on in the game, so the more you play, the more you'll feel like trying out buttons in certain spots. The more you'll kind of get used to, okay, this works here, this works there. And that's where you start kind of building your game plan around. Gregor hit. Mash. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Go high for higher. Solo Kua. So the thing you need to be thinking about as Eliza is Fukua has some really strong anti-airs, and a lot of your approach options in the air are like... The best way I can describe it is an inverted disjoint. You actively put out a hurt box before you put out a hitbox. Or it's the other way around, but... So, approaching from the air in this matchup is terrifying, because of 2 medium punch and 2 heavy punch. And so far, I am seeing you stay a bit more on the ground, which is good. Tried to up forward, get caught. It's unfortunate.
They don't know we're out.
Yeah. We tried to up forward, got hit with the sweep, and then got counter hit every single time afterwards. Back to zoning. BFF will not work at this range. He actually didn't even need to Gregor. I think that Lenny was going off anyway. And final hit. The Kua can get a hit and snap and get a lot of her life back, so you need to be keeping that in mind. Block that, punish, not quite. Committing to a bang again. Usually, as a typical rule of thumb, when they're in the air, you usually want to be doing all of your bangs when they're grounded. Whichever one you're opting into. And bang, you can kind of try and catch them landing, but because of how low it hits the ground, oftentimes you just whiff and get hit anyway. So it's... none of them are great options versus airborne opponents. Fukua Dittos. Didn't jump cancel, unfortunate. Got frame trapped. And again, you have the life lead. You can just try and run away, force them to approach. This is a punish. Got the kill.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Yep, so versus lights, and I noticed this in another game too, it's actually kind of easy to dash under with the sweep. So either try and practice the combo specifically on lights, which also helps for learning the delay you need to do later, but practice shortening your dash, or one thing I kind of like to do is just not even dashing, but just slow walk forward. You could have racked up more damage before you snapped. Snapping to get rid of red health on a solo is a really important concept. I would recommend doing it at the end of the combo instead of a special into super. Checked out. We didn't tech. Again, raw sweep from the majority of the cast is techable. And if you tech it, it will not be a combo. That was a really brave teleport.
Heal.
I'm struggling to punish these BFFs. Kind of just figure out your best fast range option. So, Peacock kind of struggles. 2 medium punch is an alright one. But like your other characters, Eliza has 2 medium punch as well. 2 medium kicks, not awful. I don't know if heavy punch reaches fast enough. But like thinking about stuff like that, for Akua you have 2 HP. Man. And then another thing for you to recognize is this Fuqua really likes to end on a heavy and then frame trap into usually a special or a super. Those aren't real block strings. So what you can do is time a reversal after the heavy to hit them, and most of your characters it will work. And so for Eliza, that will be like caught. For Fuqua, you can do BFF. You can also do H drill. For Peacock, Mbang, Argus, you have a couple of those options. Swapping to ratio to deal with solo. I think I noticed these sets are best of 3, not best of 5. It's an interesting tournament set up. This won't combo. Punish, nice. But yeah, we do not have a full combo for the Peacock, is one thing I'm definitely noticing. Which you can kind of get away with it because Peacock zoning ends up being really oppressive. And I know her combos are awkward, but I would recommend working on them. And if you are, you're on the right path, but it's like Peacock is already threatening enough with the zoning pattern. If you add just a basic BNB on top of that, the second they get hit, people really hate their life. Yeah, so that block string right there wasn't actually real. Fuqua doing a heavy into a clone in your face is not actually a true block string. You can mash there as well. Okay.
Cameras rolling and action.
Back to dealing with...
You're right. They missed a very easy punish opportunity against their sisters getting smacked and they were in caught range.
Yeah. Getting used to Eliza DP is a very big point. Or, like... Yeah. It's very big to her neutral and her kit. You can't do this. How did he not sing SBOU for that? In general, the P squiggly matchup is a lot of I don't want her to get charged. The second she gets charged, you putting down a Lenny, you throwing out George's, almost all of that leaves you open to getting Sing SBO'd. And like, your one counterplay to it is having the reactions to item drop them as the Sing is coming out. Drop the combo, but it's still chipped out. Air throw. For Fuqua, after this, you can set up H-clone and then threaten high-low throw, as well as a command throw. Because if you set up the clone, you might need to move a little bit forward, but then it lets you convert off your fastest throw without BFF as well. It makes it so much more threatening than just low throw. If you have the clone there. You can also do L-clone, still do low throw, and then set up a block string that lets you threaten a high-low after you jump in their face.
Yo.
Daisy, you're dead. I do want to see you. Oh, I didn't even. Okay, no, you were using 2 medium punch. Okay. This is an overextension. So if you're wanting to go further in your block string for Eliza, I recognize that 2 heavy punch is your combo starter. The only way for you to actually threaten to extend with Eliza is more often than not 5 heavy punch. You can still kind of do it with this, but off the 5 heavy punch, you threaten frame traps with all of the follow-up heavy punches, as well as caught. And anytime you caught, you can do caught plus assist. You have drill, so you can keep yourself safe. So if you do catch yourself overextending, try to avoid going into this 2 heavy punch, but especially make sure you're not going into Forest follow-up, because it worked here, you got kind of lucky. This is not safe. This is incredibly punishable in a couple different ways. Get used to trying to be tricksy with a little bit more frame traps, or just getting into DP plus assist and keeping yourself safe. Because these block strings are not gonna do you much good further down the line. Falling into Blight Punch, alright option. It's brave, but didn't get our DP. I mean, I guess if it keeps working, go into DP. Or, yeah, that works too. You recognize that you can ship them out, though. It's exactly what you want to be doing. Catching them pressing. Why is this dropping?
Way.
Are you just not doing it fast enough?
Yeah, they're delaying it.
Okay.
They hit the ground and then they go. Well, after a little late.
Yeah.
Dead Eliza.
You're out, but she has a charge, keep that in mind. Oh no! You can air dash to really punish that fireball. Nice. Yeah. If you ever notice yourself up backing during that, you have a double jump to send yourself forward, you have an air dash to send yourself forward. Yeah, you got all that in the back.
Warning, a huge villain is approaching early.
Everybody mind your marks. Showtime!
Yeah, accidentally dashing under again. Good anti-air. Yard in the corner. Kind of just flailing a little bit. Yeah, that's one thing you definitely need to be careful if you're banking on either one of your assists or your item drop to save you. Is they can just run up throw you, so you cannot get too complacent. Tick throw, don't tech. See. I have noticed in general your Kua likes using Drill Super or BFF as mash. The thing that sucks is like she doesn't really have great options to mash. I just would not recommend those because they're just as punishable and don't really cover great options. So your two default things to do as Kua, if you think you're getting mixed, is if you think it's not a throw, you can do Armored Command Throw, which is kind of a little bit of a more call-out option, or you just have HDP. Both of them are throw vulnerable. If you think they're gonna throw you, you up forward jump heavy kick and get a heavy counter hit. Yeah. So it's like those are the two like typical layers of Fuqua mashing, so to speak. Both of them have their risks associated with them, but that's kind of one of Kua's weaknesses. She just needs to work around that. This P is definitely looking a lot of it just like she needs a little bit more time put in. And one of the best ways for you to get more comfy with her is to actually just mess with your team order and put her point. Your point character gets the most playtime out of all your characters, so if you want to focus on one, like a completely valid way to run your team is just put the character you want to work on point. Good block, good punish. Full combo into DHC? Nope. Yep, and that's another reason why that block string is not great. If there's an assist in it, they don't have to worry about the chorus at all, and you get, like, really punished if they're aware. Beat extend. Like we were talking previously, for people who like to down back plus their assist, throwing them is an incredibly good option. And this is what I was talking about earlier. If Squiggly gets the Sing in this matchup, it's really hard for her to do, or it's really hard for the Peacock to get going, because Squiggly can kind of just on reaction swat you for doing anything. Like so. Sister. Teched into the corner. I really like that option as a reversal. I know a lot of Kua players think it's really committal, which it is, but I appreciate that you use it. It's not something to use often, but well-placed armored command throw will really ruin people's day. Okay, yeah, that was it. I'm gonna try and wrap it up quick, and I apologize if I do miss anything, and if you want further comment, please just ping me, and I'll look at anything in particular, or just an overall like double pass. But for you specifically, Jojo, I think you can afford to play a lot more grounded. I mean, that's, in my opinion, where I think Eliza and Fuqua shine. They can play a bit more aerial, and so where you want to be on that can be like lie on the spectrum between completely grounded and a lot of air movement. But overall, I think you can afford to stay on the ground a little more and check approaches with grounded buttons. That's what those two characters are really good at. And then Peacock, when she's on the ground, is when she gets her zoning set up. There's all that going for them. Getting a little bit more consistent with combos. Just a little more time. You're working on it. You'll get there. That's normal. Teching into the corner is something we saw a fair bit. When I first addressed it, I explained the reason why it's like a big issue. So I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole again. I know there are a couple other small things I said here and there, but I think I probably better remember and address them when I stated them. Is there anything for you, Dre?
Nah, not really.
Okay. Yeah. And I apologize for making the ending curt, but this week's been a little rough and I am tired. So again, if I missed anything, do a yell. I will gladly revisit it with hopefully better sleep and a fresh mind. But I believe that is all for us tonight. Have a good evening, y'all.